What's up everybody, I'm Matt Brody and today we are going to decorate the Jeep for Christmas. So the Columbia Jeep Club got asked to participate in a Christmas parade, and so I decided, what the heck, why not? Let's get Sue out there, let's put lights on her, let's do this, right? Like, why not? It's fun, it's Christmas, and so that's what I'm going to do today. But the first step in that is I feel like it's just going to work better and look better if I take the top completely off so that it's just the roll bars and wrap the lights that way. I think the Jeep just looks way cooler without the top on, and I think it's going to look way better with the lights on it without the top on, even though it's going to be fairly cold. So this is probably a really dumb idea, but whatever, right? It's all or nothing. The very first thing I need to do is remove the roto packs, not just to get the top off, but we're going to actually wrap the spare tire and lights. So those are going to come off. Then the next step is to remove the door uppers and the side windows, and then the rest of the top will just kind of come off and unclip and we'll be done. The back windows are easy to get off. They're usually a little harder to get on. All I'm doing here is releasing some tension from the inside bars to make it easier to get everything off. She's getting close. Now we just got to take the top off. So for me, the way that I like to do this, I like to get the top removed from all the channels around the Jeep first, and then start removing it from there. At this point, I like to roll up the back window so that it's out of the way and doesn't interfere with anything else. So normally this is the point where I would just fold everything back, but because we're actually going to take the entire top off, I'm going to go ahead and remove the entire canvas top altogether. Do you see this? It's like raining leaves now. As soon as I took the top off, it's just dumping leaves right into the Jeep. Can't win. So this next part gets a little tricky by yourself, just trying to make sure you don't scratch too much, but it's really not that hard. You just got to take the top frame and fold it back carefully and then slide it off. I like to do this symmetrically, so whatever I do to one side, I go back and I do to the other before I do anything else. And there you have it. The Jeep is naked, and it didn't take very long. It took about maybe 10 minutes total. No big deal. It takes a little bit longer to put everything back on because you eventually have to stretch the top and push all the little pins back in. Anyway, putting it on is harder than taking it off. I really do love the way this Jeep looks with no top on. So Sue's all cleaned up now, but before we get started on actually decorating, cheers. You know, Diet Dr. Pepper. I don't do anything anymore without my Diet Dr. Pepper. And you shouldn't either. Really, you guys need to sponsor me. I'm just saying, it'd be amazing. All right, so here's the plan. I've got this little power inverter. It's a 300 watt power inverter, so it should be plenty enough to run a couple of strands of Christmas lights that are like, they're LEDs, so I think they're like 4 watts per strand or something like that. So it should be plenty enough to do that. Anyway, so we'll plug this into the power outlet in the Jeep, and then we'll run probably an extension cord to the back and then start going around everything. We'll see if that works out. I don't have a specific plan for how to do this, so we're kind of winging it. So the first thing I want to do is wrap the spare tire in this pre-lit garland and go from there. So after experimenting with the garland on the tire, it's not really long enough to wrap so much, so I'm going to go around the outside and I'll just zip tie it so that it's secure, because you can zip tie anything. It's essentially duct tape, right? Zip ties are like cooler duct tape. After securing the garland with zip ties, the next step is just to trim the zip tie excess. Please don't be the person who doesn't trim your zip ties. It's ugly. Do it. It's the proper way. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. I've got this reel of 500 multicolor LED lights, and I've got this shorter strand of bigger, I don't know, bigger lights that do like funny things, like they blink and then they go in a line and then they all go, and so they don't just like stay on or blink. They do other stuff. I'm trying to figure out where everything should go. I think I'm going to start with the LED lights on the roll bars and see how far that gets me. So the first thing I ran into was that the seat belt was right up against the roll bar, and it was going to be a real pain to wrap the lights without wrapping the seat belt. So I just used an extension cord to pull the seat belt out of the way to make it easier to wrap the roll bar. One thing to quickly note is I wrapped the roll bar. I made sure that I kept the fire extinguisher clear, so I made sure not to wrap the fire extinguisher in a way that would hinder me from getting the fire extinguisher out if I did ever have an emergency. Awesome, well, it looks like stage one is done. That strand of lights actually went a lot further than I thought it was, so I was able to do some fun things by bringing the cord around and hooking it underneath the Jeep's hood latch there to bring it around the front. So now I got to figure out what I want to do with the other strand, and then we should be ready to roll, because that's about all I got. So I think I came up with the perfect solution for the other set of lights. I'm going to zip tie them to the bottom of the roll bar and wrap them around the back along the base of the trim there, where that black line goes. Basically just follow that line around, bringing it up or bringing it back around. Not really sure yet, but I think that's the plan. All right, so I'll be honest, I think it looks really good, but I think the front needs some more stuff. I've got one more sort of strand of lights. So I think what I'm going to do is run them from the front up, bunch them up in here and get a lot of stuff in the front, and then back around to that side and call it a day. So unfortunately, while I was putting on the front lights, I broke a bulb. So I had to go through and plug everything in and check it just to make sure that the lights would still work even though the bulb was broken. And they do, which is good. I'm not super excited about a big broken bulb on this, so I might have to replace this strand at some point, but with the parade in about an hour, I don't really have time to do it now. All right, so we made it to the parade. The Jeep is all ready. I'll give you a tour in just a second, but yeah, it's gonna be kind of fun. I got my hat on. That's the only Christmas sweater I own, and it says Stay Frosty. It's by a company called Vigilant and Humble. You should go check them out. But anyway, Jeep turned out really nice. A couple things I would say is don't use lights with actual glass bulbs because they break a lot. Like I had a couple break on the way here just because they knocked around and hit antennas and stuff. But anyway, let me go show you around and show you some of the other Jeeps. Oh, you're going inflatable Santa. You may recognize Brandon. Brandon and I did the video up at Horse Pasture Road that we did all the aerial stuff with the drones, so you probably recognize that Jeep.
21 days I spent the better half of the year just holding your space. I've got all the lights hanging up, you can see from the street.